how you got in front of 1,000 future Facebook ads clients. Like,
Yeah.
so what does that mean to get in front of like 1,000 people? Because in my background, and I have like the old school business philosophy of like, just go talk to a normal human being. The best way to like talk to a person and get them to pay you is ask them to pay you money, and then they do it. But your approach was really like you got to have 15 people talking to you, or 100 people, or 1,000 people talking to you. You didn't want to do this one person at a time. You wanted to do this 1,000 people at a time. So can you talk about how you got in front of 1,000 of future Facebook ads clients?
It's not that I wanted to, it was a necessity, and I'll break it down how that happened. So 2017, in December of 2017, a little bit after we met, and we didn't even talk about that interview in December, but we get back to it. So in December 2017, like I had already entered the tax business, all that stuff. Somebody reached out to me and said, hey, they had tax offices during the franchise I was in. They're like, hey, I see you're doing Facebook ads. Can you, like, I got pitched by a company to do our ads, and they just don't know.
Okay, that's how you got started, because one of your
I had already been doing Facebook ads.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? Not the industry that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So he reaches out. Like I had clients already. Like we had a decent sized agency. Like anywhere, I would have 20 grand months, 60 grand months, 30 grand months. Like it was all over the place, right? So a decent amount of clients, nobody in that industry. So he reaches out to me and he's like, hey, this guy said they could do this for me, but they don't fucking get it. They don't understand like this industry. They don't understand this business. Like you actually know it more so better than a lot of people, right? So why can you figure this out? Yeah. So this was like end of like mid-December. I'm like, sure. I went to his office. I broke out. We built out a campaign. I brought this guy Ramon with me. And
wait, was this when you went live and you were driving around in New York during winter?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was just calling people up. And as I left, I'm like, dude, this could fucking work. And I just called up people and I'm like, yo, you got money? Like all the friends that I like had in the industry, right? Like that I know.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to spend 13 grand. No, give me fucking money, right? Give me 3 grand. And then spend 3 grand on ads. Like, it was what I told him back then. And so I ended up getting like 10 people on my program in a week.
Yeah.
And I had to set it all up in a week, but it was like whatever. I just threw shit up and it worked. Cool. No big deal. Didn't even think about it for a year. So I'm sitting there. I'm on a...
Wait. So you get a phone call from an old friend that's like, hey, I just got pitched for Facebook ads. Can you take a look? And you're like, yeah, man, like I've been messing around with Facebook ads. You and I go back to the tax office space. Let's see what's up. And then you look at it, you're like, I could probably do better. And that inspires you to start calling back all your old buddies and all of their friends, be like, hey, you know, you're doing like all that marketing, spend your money with me. And then they say yes.
Yeah. I mean, I had a relationship. Like, it's not like my influence held some weight. It wasn't like I was just like Joe Schmo off the street. Like, a lot of these guys, you know, they developed their whole call center strategy based off my methodology. Like,
you had a rep in the industry.
It's not like I just came out of nowhere and was like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
gotcha. Okay.
So, and it was easy to work with them because I'm like, they already had call centers in place. They already had follow-up in place because they built it off of my principles. They built everything off of what I had built in the industry. And
you know all the ins and outs because you've been running the darn thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, aren't there like some specific terms that only tax office people do that I don't?
Technology, yeah. A lot of industry jargon, right? A lot of industry jargon, just like in any industry.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about it for a year. And then I'm actually on a hangout with one of the guys that's a client on, like a friend of mine who's a client on the tax program last year. And I'm sitting on a hangout, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let me write up an ad. And I wrote up an ad, and I'll get into like the right way and I'll break it down. And literally the ad was, you know, calling it the same formula. Call attention to the audience, right? Create that common understanding. Like, hey, I get you, other people don't get you.
Yeah.
Right? I mentioned, hey, last year we developed this program, right? Here's what we did, right? Here's like a quick snippet of a result. So if you're tired of all this other bullshit, click this button and learn more. It's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Right? So all I did was had that ad going to a lead form, and on the lead form thank you button was a link to my calendar. It was like super basic. I didn't even have an email. I didn't even have a spreadsheet, nothing.
Okay, wait, hold on. This is going to get really complicated real fast for everybody watching. Okay, so the first version of your 1,000 client program, right, whatever we're calling this, right, was actually last year, right, in 2017. And you called up some old friends of friends. You're like, hey, I'm going to do these Facebook ad things. Pay me to do it. And you're like, great. And you write up the ad based upon your previous experience. It works. Great, fine, perfect. And you just totally forget about it. You're talking with an old buddy and you're like, we should do it. So you put up an ad and you put it up on the internet, right? Using that formula right there. And all it is a lead form, right? Facebook will leave that name, number, and email. They click thank you. It goes to your calendar, right? That's it. No like complicated VSLs or anything like that. It's literally to tax offices where you say like, hey, I understand your pain. These are results. Do you want to talk? And that's it.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, go on.
So literally by the next day, like my calendar was jam-packed back to back.
Yeah.
Into like going into the next week, yeah. I had to open up weekend slots because my Monday and Tuesday of the following week were already booked.
So people like hitting your Calendly, like saying, I'm interested in taking the next step.
Literally 30-minute calls back to back, like literally like fucking back to back, right? Yeah. So, like it was good. I jumped on all these calls. I'm setting up join me's, and then I'm doing all these pitches. And the problem was there's a lot of no-shows. So it was like 50% of the people didn't show up. Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I have 30-minute window. They don't show up. I don't have enough time to do anything else. But the calls that I did have were great. They were so good. People wanted to pay me. And I'm like, okay, great. Let me send you out a document next week because I had nothing set up for it. Like nothing.
You had like, no, this is going to sound messed up, but you weren't thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. No. You were like, let's do this and see if it works. And you go, oh shit, it's working. Here's the next thing.
Here's what I wanted to get across the whole time was happening was I did not want to turn off what was working. So it was always like a bandage process. So in that time frame, I'm like, shit, I'm overwhelmed. I'm back-to-back calls. I can't even get a proposal done. So I reached out to Jameson. I don't know if you know Jameson. You met his partner Ross in Florida.
Yeah, the Canadians. Yep.
I'm like, hey, Jameson, can you help me build a proposal? Like I have fucking too busy, so just built it out. And then through that conversation, like they just saw my calendar, and both of them happened to have an agency. They already knew what they were doing, so they jumped on the team to kind of get this whole thing organized and in motion because I couldn't move. Like I could not breathe.
Yeah, but you were just stuck either having a sales call or waiting for a sales call.
Exactly. I had no time to do anything else. So quickly what we did, like when Ross came on, we changed up the calendar. We just quickly changed it to like a group Zoom call. So made it into a webinar basically. So now that same ad, instead of taking them to a link to book in my calendar slot, it took them for a link to pick between one of 6 slots that week to come on a live call.